series for how to attract donations for your nonprofit. It is part 5 today. So part 5, we've been going through the parts one after one. We did part 1. We spoke about how to identify your ideal donors and how to get to them. Part 2, we covered how to manage and connect with your ideal donors. On part 3, we covered how to attract people online and offline, where to find them, and your image, your organization image. And on part 4, we covered compliance. If you have not actually watched those parts, you can go ahead and watch them on my YouTube channel. From you can just go there and check part 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we are talking about part 5. We are ending this series here. So part 5 is, you heard all what I have seen, all what I have covered actually during the previous days. And now you've probably seen it's a lot to cover. It's a lot to do in order to attract those donors, those donations, because you really cannot attract donations without covering all those aspects. You need to do everything like a puzzle. You need to complete the puzzle in order to actually get those donations, gain the trust of the donors. So in order to do that, you need to have a team. Without a team, you cannot achieve so many things. Now, I'm not saying you definitely cannot attract any donations, but to be able to sustain those donations, to be able to actually get the people to donate to you in a larger scale, in a consistent donations, in order to actually be able to plan and to manage your nonprofit, you need to have all these components together and more. But we're going to cover a lot of other stuff in other videos, but for this series, this is the last one. You need team to support your mission. You need team to help you with what you have. Now, when I'm talking about team, I don't mean that you have to pay thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars to have people help you in nonprofits, especially if you are in the early stages. Even like down the road, you don't have to spend so much money to do that. Yeah, you have to invest, but you can always see which investment will make more sense. And let me say that cheaper does not mean better, because if you pay less, does not always mean you're saving money. So let me give you an example for that. Years ago, I had to hire an attorney. When I first hired an attorney, I was looking for the cheaper hourly rates. But that attorney was just starting, did not have any experience. So basically, I was paying her cheaper rates to learn. So instead for her to go learn on her own, I was paying her to learn. Now I'm paying her cheaper rates, hourly rates, but she was taking so much more time than like if she already had the experience and charging a higher rates. So it would have been better for me to actually get someone who knows what they're doing, who's already experienced, who already learned what I needed them to know at that time, and pay a higher hourly rates than just hire a lower hourly rate lawyer and having them learn on my expense. So the end result would be like I would be saving money paying more. So same thing applies to everything, especially when it comes to professionals. So whether you are hiring staff or consultants, it's the same thing. You have to see who is that person, what would they do for you, how are they going to charge you, not how much. Of course, how much but is it something it's gonna get you more, a lot more value? For example, so if you're paying a consultant $5,000 a month, and that consultant on the long run, they're gonna give you hundreds of thousands of dollars in results, that consultant's really not expensive, because they're only taking $5,000, less than 6 figures. So that's only $60,000 a year. But now you are getting hundreds of $1,000s in funding. That is not expensive at all. Versus if you're hiring someone, you are paying that one $500 or even $2,000, and they're not getting you anything in results. You're not saving money, you're losing money, you're losing opportunities, you're losing a lot of things. So when you paying someone, whether it's staff or consultant, like I said, you are not paying for how long they are spending in doing your work. You are paying for the experience they have, for what they have for you in order to help you reach your goal. So you want to keep that in mind when you are trying to invest, because you don't want to reinvent the wheel. You do not want to hire someone just because they have a cheaper rate. Because when we say, for example, I'm just going to talk about bookkeeping because this is something I do. If you go to someone, say, okay, bookkeeping, they give you $100 per month. I don't know if this exists. Probably they're not doing a good job. Probably you are just another client, and they're not really spending the time on your books, figuring out what they should be doing for you, versus paying someone 500 or even 1,000, depending on how many accounts you have, who are going to tell you when something does not seem right. I have seen a lot of messy books, and those books actually have been under the care of people who claim to be bookkeepers or accountants, but they do not know how to do books. So you really, really need to make sure you do not evaluate what you're paying with the dollar amounts, because you pay what you get what you pay for most of the time. So here's the thing: as a nonprofit, there's like 4 types of team. First one is, of course, the board members. Your board members is the first layer of your team. Those are the people who are going to do the governance body, the policies, approve the policies, keep your check and balances active. So you need to have these people in place. Now, I wouldn't rely on those board members to actually do the work, because they're busy individuals. You have to select those people in a strategic way. Their mission in life has to be aligned with your organization mission. They have to agree of what you are trying to do. They have to provide value for you. And now that value doesn't mean they have to do the work, because they are busy with their own life. You are not paying them to be a board member. They are doing this just as a legacy, probably to help you get to your mission, because you cannot get approved for 501c3 status without a certain number of board members for the federal and for the state levels. For the federal, of course, it's 3 minimum. For states, it varies. Some of them require 3, some of them more. It depends on your state, so you really have to look into your state. So those people might be wanted to help you just to achieve your mission. So they wanted to support you. That's why they agreed to be board members. So you shouldn't really rely on them to do the work. They shouldn't be doing the work anyway. So they have to actually facilitate something you want from them. Now, each one of them might add a value to your organization that is different than the other one. And we're not going to get into so much details on that because we will go forever if we do that. So we're not going to get into that so much, but I just want you to get from this that you should not rely on your board member for a daily task. Now, other layer of your teams as a nonprofit is the staff. So the staff is really important. If you do not have staff, you do not have a nonprofit because there's no one to do the work. And that staff can be you in the beginning, of course. Just like having a business, it would be you starting that business alone, and then you're adding people gradually. Now, you might not be paying yourself in the beginning, which is totally fine. You're probably gonna be putting money in your nonprofit. So this is in the beginning, right? Which is totally fine, but you should be doing the things that's gonna bring you funding in order to pay yourself and pay someone else. And you probably want to have the staff member, which is probably your assistant, that's your first hire, is to pay that person first before you start paying yourself in order to help you reach your goal, in order to help you create the impact that you are looking for. So that is really important. So you need to know who to hire first. In my opinion, like you should hire your assistant first, and then you should pay yourself or an executive director. Then you can expand from there. Now, these people need to be on your staff. Now, this is the second layer. The third layer of your nonprofit team is consultants. And nowadays, there's a lot of great consultants over there. You can find them online, virtually. You do not have to have them in your states. So you will be able to hire from anywhere around the world. Now, I would tell you, like, do not rely on someone who is not really qualified to manage an entire function in your organization. You probably need to have a layer for that. So you need to have these people supervised for someone. For example, if you need to hire someone to do your content, I wouldn't go to Upwork and just hire anyone. Well, I would do that if I have someone who I know is qualified to manage that person. Until you have that, you need to be the person who is managing that function in your business. So you do not want to rely on that person who you hire from online space who is not eligible or qualified to manage the entire function in your business. You need to pay a great attention to these people before until you can afford to hire someone who is going to supervise that function for you. If you are hiring someone who's going to do anything financials for you, you need to have that person close to you. You need to have the person who knows what they're doing, because probably are not the person who's good with accounting. You're not good with doing your taxes, and you shouldn't be doing your taxes anyway, because you need to e-file it, and you probably cannot e-file it if you do not have the software to do so, which is not going to make sense for you to purchase that, right? So you have to actually get the help of professionals. Now, when you get someone who is experienced on that, they will save you time and money, even though it might seem like you're paying so much more money. So you want to be strategic on hiring. Even if you have a nonprofit that exists and you have a building, you have an office, a real office with real people coming in, not everyone needs to be your employee. You can hire people on consultation basis. To be your consultants. You can hire a CFO to be on a monthly basis consultations. You don't need to have them in your staff, because if you're going to hire a CFO on your staff, you're going to have to pay more than $100,000 a year plus benefit plus so many things. While if you are going to get a CFO who is virtual, who is working for other people as well, you can get with $60,000 a year or less, or more, a little bit more, but still is going to be actually less than having someone in-house as a staff member, where you have to get all these actually extra extra expenses. So those are just a few examples. Same thing goes for grant writers and so on. And, so, a lot of function can apply to that. IT people, same thing. So you might need to have someone in-house, but you don't need to have a big guy in-house because it's going to cost you more money until a certain level. And you still can actually avoid having people to be in-house, especially nowadays when everything is virtual and you are able to get qualified people from all around the globe. You'll be able to save a lot of money just having someone as a consultant versus having someone in-house who is going to cost you so much more money. And then this is the third layer. The fourth layer is consultants. I'm sorry, we just spoke about consultants, volunteers. So last thing is volunteers. Now, I know a lot of you rely on volunteer and get disappointed. Of course you are, because volunteers don't have time for you all the time. So you need to be strategic on where and how to use volunteers. Some functions you cannot use volunteers for. And you always have to have someone who manages volunteers. You cannot have volunteers, period, just to do nothing, pay them nothing, and expect them to deliver and expect them to keep your assets at your place. No, because they might have work on a file that they kept in their laptop and you'll never get that file, even though like they did it, but now you cannot get a hold of them. Maybe they volunteer for a task and then they drop off that or just like that, not responding, ghosting you for the rest of their life, and you never get where what's happened to that task, and now you're delayed. Now a lot of problems could happen. So never rely on volunteers. So like I said, having a team is really important in order to reach everything that you to achieve everything that you wanted to achieve for your nonprofit. To recap, your team should have board members, staff, consultants, volunteers, and if you want to see like which one will do what, you can go ahead and listen to this video again when I post it. Now, this is exactly, we covered the team. So this is number 5 component of how to attract donations for your nonprofits. Now, if you want to learn more about those components and how to attract donations, you can go listen to my free masterclass, how to get $10,000 for your nonprofit in 30 days. It's on demand. You can go, let me put that link on the screen. You can go to nourasbooks.com/free nonprofit masterclass. You can get there. You can get it through my website. Just go to nourasbooks.com and you can get there. Now, another thing I want to talk about today, because I am so excited and I've been talking to you about this for the entire week. And me and my partner, Brittnei C, we have been talking about that for a few months now, because we are so excited to give you all the information so you guys can increase your funding opportunity for 30% before year ends. So if you want to learn all the tactics, everything that you need to know in order to get result this year, I really want you to join us for Available Money Now Mastermind in Houston, Texas. It's going to be this Saturday. I can't wait to see you guys. It's going to be this Saturday. Can't wait to see you. You can purchase your tickets. It's at nourasbooks.com/available money now. And you can go get your tickets. If financing are available, you can bring a guest for free. You don't have to pay 2 tickets in order to get a guest. You can bring a guest with you when you come and just purchase your ticket. Now look, you can divide this ticket. If you are managing a huge nonprofit or big nonprofit with staff, you can send 2 staff members with 1 ticket. So make sure you get into that training. If you are able to get to Houston area, all information will be at nourasbooks.com/available money now. And now I know you are used to get me and Brittney on Fridays usually, but because I'm traveling Friday going to Houston to see you guys, I decided along with Brittney to see you guys tomorrow instead. So we will be here live with you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central to answer your questions about available money now. We will be here to answer your questions. So if you have any question, you can watch us live. If you, for any reason, you cannot watch us live, you can put your questions under this video and we will be looking at those comments to see. And for those of you who are already in my mailing list, I will actually send you an email about that so you guys can reply with question or just attend live and ask question there. I can't wait to see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central on live with Brittney, and can't wait to see you on Saturday at Available Money Now Masterminds in person. I can't wait. So come see me and Brittney, and we cannot wait to share what we have for you. We are finalizing what we have for you. It's turning out amazing, and we cannot wait to share with you. If you are not in Houston area and you cannot get there by this Saturday, and you know someone who might be able to get there and they would be interested and benefited from this mastermind, let them know. Maybe you can sponsor an organization to go and learn. Maybe you can donate for someone to come. So yeah, even if you cannot afford it, maybe you get sponsor. And also there's financing available, so you can get to there and you join. You click join now. You will get to enter your information, and then after that you will be able to go to another page where you can pay now with a debit or credit card, or you can actually get into financing. You say pay later, and then you enter some information. From there, it's going to take you to ask you some questions and give you some option on the payment plan you want to choose, and that's it. And then you learn a lot of information from us, from what we learned doing work on our own, to our clients, what we know, all the secrets that has worked with other people. We're going to tell you everything. We can't wait to see you. We can't wait to see you winning this year, 2023. If you haven't registered yet, go ahead and register. If you still have questions, like I said, we will be answering questions tomorrow. So make sure you join us tomorrow or put your questions here and under this video, and we will be happy to give you all the information you needed. I'll talk to you later. Bye.